Okay. Um, Hello everyone. Uh, Today I'm going to cover the fundamental concepts on how to create a graphical user interface. Okay. So why do you need this graphical user interface? So most of the like in any of the applications, so the application must be user friendly, right? So when you are building any project or any simulation platform, you must have some fundamental things like if you have a very good user interface rather than going for a detailed programming. Instead, if you have a very good graphical user environment, then that will be easier to identify what are the parameters to be entered and what are the response from the system can be analyzed very easily through the graphical user interface. So in order to get details about this, we have a separate library, that is a graphical user interface development environment, GUID guide. Guide stands for graphical user interface development environment. If I press enter on the command window, so you will get the empty canvas, that is create a new graphical user interface. So I will just select the blank GUI. So which is by default, it is renamed as named with untitled. So if I press, so first thing is I need to develop an user interface using these set of toolboxes. So I can use the push button, I can use the slider, radio button, checkbox, edit text, static text, and even you can use the pop-up menus, list boxes, toggle buttons, tables. And if you want to plot or if you want to draw, or if you want to plot any graphical outputs, then you can use the axes, and you can create your own panels, and you can mount the buttons on the button groups. So there are multiple other toolboxes here. So as a beginners level, I'm just using this push button, and my agenda is to create uh, by clicking on this push button. I can get a number of counts, how many times I pressed, that will be displayed on the static text. Okay, so here is the static text layout. Okay, so you can resize this content also by resizing it. Here is the push button, and here's the static text. So this is how we can use it. So and now if you want to change the color, and if you want to change the font style of these push button and static text, then if you just double click on the push button block, and you can get the inspector for these individual blocks. So now, so as the string of this push button is push button itself, let it be as it is, and the tag for this is the push button one. I will leave as it is, or you can even replace, or if you want to use this tags in the future, so you can rename this as a bt1. So be careful while typing the alphabets. So each alphabet is a case sensitive, and you can recolor the background of the push button. I'm just selecting this cyan color and press OK. Now you can see here the push button is with a cyan color. And if you want to resize the size of the text content, so here is a font size, you can resize it. So as of now it's 8, so I'll make it as to around 18 and press enter. So now you can look here the push button. The size of the text content also been increased. And coming to the static text, what is this static text? So whatever the content you are written, that will be appear. Okay. So the static text has a tag as a static text itself. So I will rename as I want to display the count, okay, number of clicks, the total number of clicks. As it is a string, you can enter anything in the string itself. Okay, so it will just display the on the your user interface. And I will just rename the or recolor this, the background color of the text, so it will looks very good now. And even I can change the font size. Just enter. Okay, you can see here that the total number of clicks has been appeared here. Even so now I can save this model as you can give any name for this. I will just rename it as um my counter. So click counter better. It is, I'm just counting the clicks, so I will just rename as a click counting. So whenever I create this user interface, I will just try to save this model or just save this figure. You can see here there will be an update in the this editor window. The click counting program has been generated by MATLAB itself. So whatever the user interface which I created, it is in terms of a program. Okay, so if you are not good at in the programming, then better use this graphical user interface so that you can easily generate the code itself. And the thing is, you can see that there is a callbacks for individual functions which has been generated. So I can see here the function for this is a bt1, push button 1. The button 1 is having the callback bt1. So here is some functions. Okay, so now I want to like count the values of individual values. Okay, so whenever I press the push button, the number should be hold the previous value, right? So if I press once, it must give the text as number of clicks is equal to 1. If I press twice, it must give the number of clicks is equal to 2, right? But whenever I'm using this uh, uh, counting the variables or counting the value, you must declare it and you must increment the values. Okay, so in order to get the previous values, or in order to get the in order to store the previous values, I am using the command persistent. So I want to hold the previous values of the count. I will consider the value of a count. Okay, persistent count, which means which will hold the previous value of the count. So then, so count is equal to 0. As it is in the beginning of the stage, it will be very equal to 0. And if I use this command, then every time the when I press the switch push button, it will give the 0 itself. Okay, so in order to increase the value, okay, in order to increase the value, so now uh, I need to increment it. Okay, now if count is equal to count plus 1. So as the persistent, the count becomes 0, the count increment, count is equal to count plus 1. Okay, the condition is I need to check the it is empty or not. Okay, So is empty. If it is empty, if is empty of count,